Welcome to the deep dive. So the idea here is simple. We take a pile of sources, articles, notes, research, whatever we've got on a topic, and we dive deep.
Yeah, pull out the key stuff, the takeaways you really need to know,
Yeah.
without you having to sift through everything yourself.
Exactly. And today, the sources were kind of all over the place. We had cutting-edge AI, but also some really heavy-duty industrial tech.
And digging in, we pretty quickly stumble on something interesting. A name kept popping up. VO?
Right. But it wasn't, the same VO.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The sources point to at least two completely different technologies sharing that name.
Two VOs. Okay, that's exactly the kind of thing that makes these deep dives fun. So, mission for today. Let's unpack both of these VOs based purely on the material we have here. What are they? What can they do? What are people saying about them?
Right, let's do it. Starting with the one probably getting more headlines right now, Google's VO3.
Okay.
This one, according to the sources, is an AI model, specifically for generating video.
Yes, the AI video generator. And it just had its big reveal, right? At Google I/O, May 20th.
That's the one. Its basic function is you give it text, like a description or maybe an image.
And it spits out a video clip.
Exactly. But here's the kicker. Based on what's in these sources, the videos it's making are, well, they're shockingly realistic.
Shockingly realistic. Yeah, I saw some quotes like, it's stepping out of the uncanny valley. That's a big claim. That feeling when AI looks almost real, but off.
And another source flat out quoted someone saying, the world isn't ready, which is, pretty strong.
It really is. Do the sources give specific examples of what it can do?
Oh, yeah, quite a few. One described generating a 3D CGI scene, like from a video game.
Yeah.
Misty forest, magic spells, goblins fighting hobgoblins.
Okay, fantasy setting.
Right. And what was impressive, according to the source, wasn't just that it followed the prompt, but the details. Clear animations, even a plausible game, HUD health, mana bars, a mini-map.
Wow, UI elements too.
Yep. And fitting audio like low orchestral music that matched the action.
Okay, that's more than just moving pictures. What about photorealism?
Sources say it handles that well, too. There's an example of a surreal alien creature. 3 eyes, 6 legs, iridescent blue fur, kind of reptilian and mammalian.
Sounds like a challenge for an AI.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
But the report said the prompt adherence was incredible. Image quality, stunning. Dense forest background, fitting sound design for a wild environment. The creature looked real, apparently, even if maybe its pose was a little stiff.
Huh. And animating still photos. That seems like a really practical use case.
Totally. And it's mentioned. One example took a really high-quality photo of a Chinese tea shop, people toasting teacups, lanterns, steam, the works, and asked VO3 to bring it to life.
Yeah.
The result was described as, like, 0 visual glitches. Really impressive video quality. And crucially, the audio was spot on. They specifically noted the clink of the teacups happened exactly when it should have.
So it's not just making video, it's syncing sound too, generating appropriate audio from scratch based on the prompt.
That seems to be the key takeaway. It synthesizes both sight and sound to match the instructions.
Okay, so how do you actually use this thing? Is it widely available?
Based on the info here, it's part of Google's paid AI plans. You can get at it through Gemini, their chatbot thing, or something called Flow.
Flow.
Yeah, described as an AI filmmaking tool. So it sounds like it's aimed at creators willing to pay.
Right, not necessarily free for kicking the tires. What about the downsides? The sources must mention limitations.
Oh, definitely. A big one is video length. It seems to mostly generate short clips, like 8 seconds.
Only 8 seconds. How do you make anything longer?
Well, the sources say you have to use that Flow tool to chain clips together. Use the last frame of one clip to start the next one. But there's a note that sometimes doing this can make the audio quality dip, like back to the level of the previous version, VO2.
Okay. And that uncanny valley thing, it's not totally gone. Still some AI weirdness.
Seems so. Sources mention users seeing things like stiff or unnatural movements. Sometimes characters even move backwards when they shouldn't.
Haha, classic AI.
Yeah. And one user apparently kept getting nonsensical captions or just wrong subtitles appearing on their videos.
Yeah, cost. You mentioned paid plans. Is it expensive?
That's a major point in the reaction, especially online. One person did a rough calculation. They estimated that even if every generation was perfect first time, which, let's be honest, it probably isn't, you might only get about 11 minutes of video for like $250 a month.
Oof. Okay, so that's definitely not hobbyist pricing if you need multiple attempts.
Exactly. The actual cost for polished stuff is likely way higher.
Any other technical limits mentioned in the preview phase?
Yeah. Resolution 720p, frame rate 24 FPS, English prompts only, for now it seems.
Sure.
There are API limits if you're developing with it, like 10 requests a minute, 2 videos per request, max image upload size of 20 millib for image to video.
Got it. And didn't Google also announce an update to their image generator alongside this, Imagen 4?
Good catch, yes. Sources mentioned Imagen 4 for still images, supposedly better with fine details, can go up to 2K resolution, and, interestingly, much better at putting readable text in images.
Ah, that's always been a tricky one for AI image tools.
Right, and it's being rolled out in Gemini, Whisk, Vertex AI, Workspace apps, the usual Google spots.
Okay, so we've got the tech specs, the access, the limits. Let's circle back to the reactions. You said the world isn't ready, but what's the overall vibe from the sources?
It's really split. You got a lot of excitement, genuine excitement, people talking about creative potential, how it can make filmmaking easier, adapt books or games visually.
Like a powerful new creative tool.
Yeah, and just amazement at how fast this tech is moving. But then there's the other side.
And the fear side.
A significant amount of fear and concern absolutely comes across loud and clear in the sources.
Hmm.
Job displacement is a big one. Actors, editors, VFX artists.
Understandable worries.
But maybe the deeper, more common fear is losing the ability to tell what's real anymore. As this stuff gets better.
Yeah.
How do you know if video is genuine?
Right. The implications there are huge.
And the sources list them out. Deepfakes you just can't spot. Fake alibis that look convincing. Propaganda looking like news footage. Just a general erosion of trust in anything you see online.
Are there other concerns mentioned? Like specific issues people are seeing?
Yeah, some notes on censorship reports that it struggles or refuses to generate certain public figures. Also challenges with keeping characters consistent across clips or getting specific demographics like children's appearance or voices, right? It feels like the tech is racing ahead of our ability to really handle it responsibly.
So a really powerful, potentially revolutionary tool, but one that comes with some serious baggage and unanswered questions according to these sources.
That sums it up pretty well. Excitement mixed with quite a bit of unease.
Okay. Wow. So that's VO number 1 AI video generation. Now let's switch gears completely because the other VO in our sources couldn't be more different.
Not even close.
Yeah.
We're going from AI creating virtual scenes to inspecting welds in metal pipes. Seriously. The second VO is Sonatist's VO3. This is hardware, a portable phased array ultrasonic testing unit, PAUT for short.
PAUT. Okay, I've heard of ultrasonic testing, using sound waves to find flaws.
Exactly. But phased array is a more advanced version. Instead of one fixed transducer, it uses an array of tiny ones. You can electronically steer and focus the sound beam, kind of like a sophisticated radar, but with sound, inside materials.
So you can look inside things you can't see through.
Precisely. The Sonatist VO3 is built for doing this quickly and efficiently out in the field. Sources specifically mention its use for inspecting butt welds, like where pipes are joined, according to different industry standards. It's about finding hidden problems before they become big problems.
Makes sense. Critical for safety and quality control in like construction or manufacturing. What technical features does this VO3 have?
It's got quite a few listed. Live TFM, time of flight measurement, which helps accurately locate and size flaws. It can do multiple types of scans at the same time, standard phased array, POFD, which is good for sizing cracks, and TFM itself, which gives a really detailed image of the inspection area, up to 8 PA groups simultaneously.
Running all those at once sounds complex.
It requires processing power. The sources mention a 32-channel PA beamformer with, quote, superior digital technology. The benefit, really good signal-to-noise ratio, or SNR.
Meaning clear results, less static?
Basically, yeah. Better detection of small flaws. It also has fast digital signal processing and runs on Linux for high-speed data capture. Technicians can adjust things like the pulse rate to scan faster.
Okay, sounds powerful. But is it a nightmare to use out on a noisy construction site or factory floor?
They seem to have focused on usability. The sources mention full setup wizards, step-by-step guides with help boxes. There's an onboard library for choosing the right probe and wedge. Yeah, the angle block you put the probe on to get the sound into the material at the right angle. You can also import settings from specialized design software.
And calibration. That always seems fiddly with precision instruments.
The VO3 apparently has step-by-step guides for all the calibration checks, wedge angle, checking for dead elements in the probe, sound velocity, sensitivity, PCG,
DC.
time-corrected gain. It automatically boosts the signal from deeper flaws so they show up as clearly as shallow ones, makes interpretation easier. and encoder calibration to track where you are during the scan, plus customizable screen layouts.
So they've tried to streamline the tricky bits. What about handling the data afterwards?
Big plus mentioned. You can review data and generate PDF reports right there on the unit. Immediate feedback on site.
That's useful.
For more in-depth stuff, it comes with PC software called UT Studio Plus License. This has advanced tools for finding, sizing defects automatically, and making full reports. And the sources note a UT Studio Plus license comes free with the VO 3.
Free software is always nice.
Definitely adds value. It's also compatible with other industry software like CIV, and they have another tool, UTView, for sharing and collaborating on results.
Okay, and physically. For a portable unit, it needs to be tough.
Yep. Sources mention 6 hours of battery life, and they're hot swappable, so you can keep going. Weighs about 5.1 kilos without the battery, and crucially, it has an IP66 rating.
A meaning.
Dust tight, and can handle powerful water jets. So, built for rough environments.
Okay, so putting this Sonatus VO3 in context, why should you, our listener, care about this industrial gadget, especially after hearing about the AI?
Because this kind of tech is fundamental to the safety and reliability of, well, pretty much everything around us. Bridges, pipelines, airplanes, power plants. Anywhere materials are joined or under stress, hidden flaws can be catastrophic.
Right.
This VO3 provides the ability to see inside those materials, non-destructively, to find those flaws. It's about ensuring the physical integrity of the world we build and rely on.
So there we have it from the sources. Google's VO3. AI conjuring videos from text, blurring lines between real and digital, sparking excitement, and, frankly, some anxiety.
And Sonatist's VO3, a rugged ultrasonic box using sound waves to meticulously inspect the real world, ensuring physical safety.
Two technologies, completely different worlds, virtual creation versus physical inspection.
Yet both somehow ended up with the same name, VO.
It's such a stark contrast, isn't it? It really makes you think about how technology evolves in different directions.
What's really striking, though, looking across the sources for both, is that deep down, they're both tools for seeing.
Seeing things we couldn't see before.
Exactly. Whether it's seeing an imagined scene brought vividly to life by AI, or seeing a tiny, dangerous crack hidden deep inside a piece of steel.
That shared core function, extending our senses, our vision, but into such radically different domains. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does this kind of dual evolution of seeing tech tell us about where we're headed? Is our very concept of sight shifting becoming less about our eyes and more about the tools we invent to perceive, whether it's the imagined or the invisible?
That's definitely something to chew on, connecting these two very different VOs.
Indeed. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the dual nature of VO. We'll see you next time.